Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the cave. Let's continue. So we did all three of the little moral plays in which each of our characters did something horrible in the cave to kind of represent reliving something that they probably did horrible in their own lives. Oops. Might as well have one more death for good measure. And we each character have holding an item from their own little moral play, and we'll see what happens here. We'll go forward and see if we just get a final situation or what. Well, that's not gonna quite work. She ended up with the key again. Interesting. She had the bucket of oil and it just fixed it and unlocked the door. So they're calling the key the Smurg. And then I feel like this is going to have us walking through a section that will probably take us to the end. I feel like the time traveler is the last person section. Now, of all the kids, there's a lot going on. Of all the other, like, not kids, but archetypes, there's a lot going on, so it does kind of feel like each of these archetypes really couldn't be all in the same world. And see, so we took this side quest that skipped the twins path, and now we are going through this gate section that would have been locked otherwise if we did have the twins with us. And again, we are back to this point. So I assume this door would just not exist if we didn't have a future traveler. But that messes us up as far as holding something from our timeline, which is something I was trying to do, but clearly we weren't able to succeed at. And here we have a zoo.
Ah, the zoo. Observe nature's wondrous and terrible beauty, safely imprisoned behind unbreakable steel bars.
Feel like those are going to get broken. And it feels like we are just walking past that, so that's either the scientist or
You
the...
aren't getting away this time, beast.
So there's another character that could have been in the sequel.
This place is a nightmare. I hate zoos. No, I never like zoos. Never.
So now we have our other characters that apparently our other character is being labeled as dead. Interesting. We haven't been able to die before this point. Interesting. It electrocuted me, but it didn't do anything else. Let's see. Time traveler, a plan hatched. My assumption here is she stole the time traveling ability. There is something slightly different around a point-and-click adventure guy where you're playing as a character that you like and appreciate, and then them having something comedically silly happen to them. And these characters who have at this point been depicted as nothing but bad guys and them getting hurt, it's like, well, yeah, they're kind of getting what's due to them, and it's not very funny. It's just like, okay, we are in some kind of zoo section.
Beast Hunter Podcast, day 541. The Crystal Cave monster escaped again. She's still hungry, so I'm camped out near her favorite food. When I hear her shriek and roar, the hunt is on.
I don't know if this is the same.
This worthless gizmo is out of batteries.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, who are you? Don't touch those hot dogs.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the same crystal monster.
Hey, who are you? Don't touch those hot dogs.
And so we have another. Let's go ahead and put that down. Another character that will just shoot you.
Move away from the vending machine.
It's funny, it teleports you and then it teleports you again.
Are you hard of hearing? Get out of here.
Alright, so we'll take the recording device and we'll probably have to use it to record the sounds of the crystal beast. Now this is a present time section. We were one behind, so if these cave paintings are to be believed, and there's really no reason to believe either the moral plays that we're playing or the cave paintings, since they're all in the cave and the cave is an unreliable narrator. It could be that all these characters are very innocent and just getting forced to do certain things. Crystal Cave Monster. He's just kind of asleep here. And he just...
Look, she's safe after all. Surely there are no limits to the charity and altruism this pair can bring to the world now that they've been reunited.
See? It kind of feels like the movie Clue, this game. With the one thing that the Clue movie was missing, which is the fact that some of the people, regardless of which ending you watch of the movie, at least one of the persons is actually innocent, and often many people are innocent, whereas in this game I'm fairly certain nobody actually is innocent. So each of these archetype characters feel pretty much like the same as all the other characters. Did I kill it? Knock it out? I can go all the way back up here, but I don't think we really need a third character. And then you would have thought that the future person's ability to teleport would come into being more helpful. And the fact that you see a swing point there kind of goes to show that there are definitely multiple solutions for some of this stuff. Down we go. There's the scientist section. A perfect gift to win her love. So I kind of assume what's going on here is that this zoo section is the final section. There's kind of no other reason. He's just gonna eat you each time. And this will open that gate for a while, which would, I suppose, let us both leave, if that's what we're really trying to do. But I suspect that there's more to it than just that. Otherwise, this section's going to be pretty simplistic. A dragon attacks. What would be surprising is if the final cave paintings automatically unlock and they show that actually each of these characters did something good instead of bad. Because it could be that he actually did win her love, or he just decided to love the teddy bear in the first place, and even though it looks like she's going back in time to kill somebody, maybe she's not, and then maybe this guy will really defeat a dragon.
Ah, these three. I had high hopes when they first arrived, but you'd be surprised how useless a clown can be in a high-pressure life-and-death situation.
So here you have a dead pirate, a dead robot. From the dead robot we have a dead battery, and from
Pro tip,
a
that
dead
battery probably needs a charge. Its owner hasn't had much chance to maintain it recently.
In the clown you can honk the horn. And you don't do anything with the dead pirate. So it is kind of funny. They do put this in a way that I guess I did put the battery in the machine. I thought I put the battery back in the robot. Unpowered tape recorder. So yeah, it does feel like 7 other archetypes could have played a role in this game if you chose that. All right. I honestly don't think we're gonna really solve this too much either. I think we're gonna let the crystal monster survive and live, and the crystal monster kind of would work just fine as a character. See, over here we have a dead control console, door control console, and see, she can't make it over there, and that one will just knock us backwards. Well, I think we need our third guy at this point, if not just for the fact that I screwed up. And hopefully we come back and get the cupcake, but we'll see. This almost feels like this section was a section that they were thinking about using and merging with the time traveler section, but the time traveler section just got way too big. This is also another section that feels way too big. Let me see if there's something I can do with that music. No. So I'm just bringing these items over here. It's like, it would be interesting if the cupcake worked with the crystal monster. Nope, it doesn't though. Let's see. She needs to get down that direction, which kind of means that he needs to get stuck back here. What was up here? I think it was just a cave painting. Yeah. A lot of areas with very little in them. A lot of ladders. It's a slightly interesting comparison, the experience you're gonna have here compared to the experience you would have had playing Broken Age, which is a much more traditional point-and-click adventure game, or at least Double Fine's attempt at doing a modern point-and-click adventure. They did that game very much in an expected way. So we got a battery.
Back off.
Oh, you know what I bet I have to do? I bet the electric eels aren't just there for a joke. I bet we're supposed to get electrocuted.
Well, it looks like that battery is all charged up now.
So, okay. There was a section that I guess you could have kind of missed and messed up. I want to look at the cave paintings now. Do we have 2 or 1 unlocked with the time traveler? We have only 1 remaining. So how are we supposed to record the sound effects though? Are we supposed to record this? Because I keep hitting the X button and that's not really recording. Well, just record. Oh, so you put it down and it is recording. Then you press X and it stops recording. No other item in the inventory has worked that way. That is just a break, certainly. So we put it down, it's recording. We run around, and we go here. And then we pick it up. And
well, whatever else happens down here, our heroes could always consider careers as nature documentarians.
You don't hit play here to just make it come walk on the bridge and break the bridge. You're gonna instead use it to hit play over there. To
Are you hard of hearing? Get out of here.
feel like that started to work. How close do you have to get to play it though?
I am not moving an inch until I hear that monster nearby.
So where else could I play it back? Like, there's no further location here. And it seems like you don't ever actually get in the zoo. Down there is just a fall for no reason. There's a lot of that in this game. It seems silly. They seem to only really electrocute you after a few seconds. So I can only just assume that when we're in this special zoomed out screen, You put it down and it plays.
I am here without a camera crew to document my triumph. Oh, no matter. Valor waits for no woman.
Yeah. So we saw a clown, a robot, a pirate, a cave prospector, the souvenir guy at the very beginning, the king, the princess. I assume you wouldn't want to play as a guard dog as an archetype. Any of the circus goers were cardboard people, so they really wouldn't count. There's at least 7 people there, and I probably think of several more where you could have made a sequel here.
All of that for a frankfurter. Well, at least it's kosher.
Okay. So, before we finish this out, which that was a little bit shorter, we need to think about this character. Like, she isn't holding anything, and we want every character to be holding something. So she's gonna pick up this bloody amulet. He is holding on to the cupcake, and we lost the key from her time frame at some point. So we only have 2 items from 2 timelines. Now I don't know if we're supposed to run with this. Yeah. Here we have a slightly different gameplay mechanic again. We have to walk kind of slow. And then it just goes to a cutscene.
This has gone on long enough.
I suppose it's true what they say. If you want to make an omelet, you have to consign the last member of an ancient species to oblivion while destroying someone else's lifelong dreams and desires.
So the hunter girl there, she really isn't too different from the archetype of the adventurer, though. And that would be the problem with making a sequel, is it really would just be spending a lot of time to make new puzzles and having you play with archetypes that are very similar. Like if we got the other guy who was the time traveler, the greatest employee of all time, if he was in the sequel, it wouldn't be too different. If we played as the king or the princess, it wouldn't be too different from the knight. If we played as the hunter, it's the same as adventurer. The monk is about the weirdest one. Maybe it's the monk that has the teleporting ability and not the twins. So down we go, and we're falling down to this giant missile silo, and we've got the weenie. And what do we have over here? An old sign. To a mind at peace, the lightest of things can be the heaviest. And see, this definitely feels like this is the monk's path. And since we can't do the monk's path, it seems like we probably can just climb this mountain, which is very monk-like, a thing to do. And then here you have a support beam that the monk would pull, and that almost certainly would then roll it downward to breaking this path. So everybody who doesn't have the monk, I guess, just goes this way. The door of enlightenment can only be opened by one true master, which this is the master's gate, and we just are skipping right through that. And here is the final marker for the guy. Interesting. I thought that was for the time traveler, but maybe I wasn't looking well enough. Take note again, and interesting, slightly more mature art style on that princess. Showing some heavy inking on that cleavage. And it just says, "Will you save us?" So it's kind of like these cave paintings are just the setup to the moral plays and the stories that happen in the game, but not really a finalized story. Which that's a little weird. And I guess that was the final for the paladin. So I guess we might very quickly run into the final for the other characters too. We're just all walking kind of on a desert thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we get in a boat and cross the river of Styx, and this is all just purgatory. Just reliving the events of your life. And it kind of seems like we are leaving our items behind by that animation. So we can't pay the ferryman. So, yep, it looks like this is the end of the game.
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. Oh, that's more a bar song than a sea shanty. Ooh,
Sharks in the background.
99 bottles of rum on the wall, 99 bottles of rum.
And caves in the background. I can't really applaud them having a bunch of sharks' fins and bats in the background because that's pretty much the same. And this is just a straight up Monkey Island 1 reference.
On this blasted island, I can finally leave. Shut up. Shut up. I'm going to go collect my stuff and get my beloved dog Spanky so we can skedaddle. Beloved dog. Shut up.
I don't recall there being a beloved dog in Monkey Island
from
1.
Stuck in a cave to marooned on an island stuck in a cave. Things aren't exactly looking up for our friends now, are they? No, they're not.
So we still have our items. Interesting. It almost feels like Ron Gilbert wanted this to somehow tie into the craziness of Monkey Island, but you really can't do that. I mean, you really can't go that direction, because then that sort of ruins Monkey Island and changes it to something different.
When you get that boat of yours to the other side of the island, give me a shout, and I'll join you for the big rescue. Big rescue. Shut up.
So,
Not sure how to break it to that adorable old hermit, but their boat only seats 3 people. Might I suggest to our 3 friends that they move the boat across the island very quietly?
Quietly.
Shut up.
here's the final image. His great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Let's see. Let's go and push that down. So this is a little odd because this is like the 4th, like the 4th side story section that we have, and it's a little bit more than I would have expected. So there's another can of corn, undamaged, and a box of crackers. You can almost certainly assume that had Ron Gilbert not been the director in this game, this section would not play out this way. And it is a really, really large area. Obviously, because we would have not fast traveled otherwise. I don't know why they thought that was the smart move, though. I would have definitely said make each puzzle section tight and compact and more bespoke, instead of having everybody. You know what we should do? We should take this with the bloody amulet and climb down the ladder. Put that down. Pick up a box of crackers and run this direction because we are fairly certain we're going to need that. And I really do think that this is probably just a larger section of map with not really that much more to do. It does seem like the checkpoints are a little bit. You can't hit Y while you're in the air, by the way, so there's no way to lengthen your jump. And there's no great way to jump down a ladder. Seems like we're probably gonna have to pull some pirate flags from every location. So go ahead and put that down and take the can of corn. And maybe there is a trick here where you are supposed to blow up the different cans of corns. I didn't look at the actual achievements. I'll look at them after the fact. Here we have a puzzle with 4. Here we have the last of the Hillbilly, a broken heart. So on that, we have all the time travelers, all the knights, and all of the other things. So even if I was going to be able to get the collectible that's down this way, that's the monk. I can't collect that anyways. So he needs to jump back in this general direction and drop that. So the question that we're going to run into is, how fast can we get all of this done? I don't think that it's even going to be so complicated that we do something like that. Although, maybe it is going to be that complicated. And let's see. What else do we have as we're looking around here? It's a water section that the Hillbilly could pull, but I don't think anybody else could pull. So that's a little weird. So, before we get anywhere else, we've got to push this boat and open up several locks to get it across. And it doesn't feel like we're going to end the game particularly abruptly after that point. So I think what we'll have to do is end this recording here halfway. We don't have anything that we can do with the parrot. We have a straight pipe. So we can hold that, and then hold that, and then hold that. And then that will let me pick up a femur and a box of crackers and drag one of these way over to this section. I don't think that there's anything else, any other reason you would want to drag it. Like, dragging it all that way doesn't make sense. And we still would need fire, and it seems to me, if I was to guess, what happens is you can pull several of these if you won't need them to, and then I imagine it would reset after one explodes. And I kind of assume that the femur is for the dog to get the dog to move out of the way. Alright, well, this is as good of a place as it's gonna get. I think it will take at least another 7 minutes to 15 minutes to finish this puzzle, and then we probably will run into some credits or some wrap up that will make it take a little bit longer. Again, this is, I guess, more of an homage to Monkey Island. I believe perhaps Herman the Hermit, I think, may have been his name from Monkey Island. That character that they're referencing here. Maybe the argument is that he left Monkey Island and got stranded on a different island, and this is that different island in the cave, and the cave is just this collection of horrible stories that happen to people. Although, again, it gets back to the point of, did that character from Monkey Island who was stranded on the island really do anything so bad that he deserved to be in a purgatory/hell world like this? Like, each character we've played as has clearly done something to deserve it, but everybody else in the game is clearly being depicted as a mostly innocent victim of the actions of the main characters. Which kind of confuses the issue when you try to figure out what the cave is, which you don't really have to think too hard. It's just a kind of blank canvas for them to have these different 3-character play puzzles. And I guess in a sense this game gets replaced with a game I haven't played called, I believe, Triad, like Triads 1, 2, 3, and 4, where there are only 3 characters in that game, and they have 3 specific abilities that get used to solve different puzzles over and over again. If the game I'm thinking of is called Triad, the benefit of that game is that it is literally the same ability over and over again. So every time you get a slightly more challenging puzzle, you're learning from previous puzzles what it wants you to do. It just gets a little bit more complicated each puzzle as you move forward. Where this game, it kind of gives you something completely different every section you're in. You don't use a wrench to turn off a generator and then immediately use a wrench to turn off 2 generators in the next puzzle. You use the wrench to turn off a generator, and then maybe you use a wrench 4 puzzles later to shut a valve. Very unconnected things, even with similar objects. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, There's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and give me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.